If you can think it, you can do it. And it's just about being around other people that think like that. I knew that I wanted to live a life that made me happy and passionate, not just in business, but in my personal life,
yeah.
And I wasn't going to settle for something that wasn't giving me that. I had my dream office. It was like all white. I had my team working for me. It was fantastic.
You have the power in your hands to create your life, and you don't give the power away at any point.
One of my mottos is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. People talk about mindset, but no one talks about the energy you bring to your business. And it's absolutely massive. It's game changing. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no, is like my guiding mantra now, like with everything. Solve each problem as it comes, but don't see things as problems. You just have to see it as growth. I'm so grateful that I have money to pay the bill. So when I pay a bill, I'm like, thank you, bye money, thank you very much.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Welcome to Femisticated Podcast. For those who listen to us first time, my name is Lucia, and this podcast is all about women's world. I'm bringing different point of views on how to stay sane and succeed in this world full of sharks, where even feminism is sometimes twisted all the way around. And I'm bringing guests that are successful, they're living their dream life. So today, I have here Deborah Henning. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So Deborah rebranded her business lately to Self-Made, and it really grabs my attention. I know Deborah for many years. I've seen her 15 years back at one networking event in Dubai, and she was that time a fashion designer.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, your designs were in black and white mostly.
Mostly, yeah. Tan, black, white, yeah.
Yes, so that was very useful. And tell me, Deborah, what takes you to this dream? Was it your dream or?
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, for a long time, I wanted to be a fashion designer. Since I was little, actually, like even in school, I did my art GCSE. I did it in fashion.
Okay.
And my teacher said to me, you should do this, you're good at it. And I was like, okay. It was basically like the one before you leave school, the one where you try it out. And I got a really good grade, and I was going to change it to something else. He was like, why?
Okay.
You're really good. You'll only do better. Do it again. So then by the time I'd done it again for another year, I was like, oh, people do this for a job. Like, why not? Let's do something I love. And I was very confident and had really good in that at home. I was always taught, do something that you love, follow your dream. That was something that my mum was always really good with. It was never like, you need to follow this path, or you need to do what I did, or anything like that. It was always like, do what makes you happy.
So your mom was your biggest inspiration and supporter?
Yeah, she's always been my biggest fan.
There should be always one person, at least one person that is on your side, that supports all your dreams, and you can be really successful.
Yeah, and everyone that I work with, I always tell them, like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. Like, it's me. I'm that person now for so many women, because a lot of women don't have that. And to have that one person that is just in your side and wants you to succeed changes the game.
And that's what I love actually about your business, because I know that you went through transition from fashion design to consultations and to mentoring and stuff. But what I see in your programs or in your business is a passion. There is something I really admire. There is this urge to help other women, to lift them, to even if you're making money out of it, we all need to, right? We all need to. Yeah. But you are doing it with the heart, and that attracts my attention, because we all should do that. When you have a skill, you should give it out there and help at least one woman.
Yeah, I'm super passionate about being able to look. I've grown up in this environment where you can do anything. I've worked for companies before. I've worked for design houses, and I've seen my designs make lots of money. And I think, you know what? I can do this myself. Like, why not? Well, if I can think it, why can't I do it? And at the end of the day, that's the premise that I still work on. If you can think it, you can do it. And it's just about being around other people that think like that. And then it's about a strategy and steps to get there, and your mindset, so that you don't like sabotage yourself. And,
exactly.
And over the past 20 years, I've figured out like that there's a way to do things to get what you want. And it's like I can hand that to people. It doesn't have to take, trust me, it's been a roller coaster, but it doesn't have to take 20 years to get what you want anymore. Because in today's day and age, we can apply things really quickly and get in front of clients and build brands much easier than you could. You can get in front of millions of people on your iPhone. So it's just about making sure that all the building blocks are in place so that when that customer sees it, they know exactly what it is that you sell, and this is my woman. And it's just not as difficult as it was 20 years ago. And there's a much quicker path than I took. The harder bit is the mindset and the women believing that they can do it. So we work on a lot on that as well.
Yeah, because usually, like, humans are set to have negative minds.
Absolutely.
From the past, you know, to save them, to survive and everything.
Absolutely.
And I think that we have to control the thoughts and everything to get where we want to go and how we want to go.
Yeah.
So tell me, you said it was a roller coaster for you. What do you mean by a roller coaster? Because I
How
know
long do we have?
entrepreneurship is hard. It's not easy when you're doing it all by yourself. And what was the biggest struggles that you had? And also why you decided to transition from fashion design, as it was your passion, to what you do right now?
The answer to that one is opportunity.
Opportunity.
But for me, the struggles aren't really business related. It's more personal. It's the things that you have to go through to be able to do the thing that you love. I grew up although my mum was amazing, we had not the most pleasant environment as a child. And so when I got married, I repeated that situation and got into a marriage that wasn't peaceful. And that caused me a lot of upset and angst and not being able to focus on what I wanted to do because I was in this situation that I was battling with. So I was building businesses in the day and then not being able to de-stress and let it go at nighttime because I'm still dealing with this thing that wasn't working very well. And for 10 years, I battled with this kind of like personal issue of I'm in this marriage, I've made this decision, but it doesn't feel right. And making a decision to leave was a huge thing for me, but I just knew deep down that I have to be peaceful and this does not feel right. And I'm not just going to take the next step because people are married, then they have kids, just because that's what people do.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of upset and it caused a lot of, obviously, families broken up and stuff. But at the end of the day, I knew that I wanted to live a life that made me happy and passionate, not just in business, but in my personal life.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to settle for something that wasn't giving me that. I gave it loads of time and it didn't work. And so I left. And as it transpires, it was amicable, like there was no like major issues, but it was the best thing for me. Like my business opened up. I made more money in the month that I left than I'd had that whole year because I had the freedom in my mind to be able to focus on what I was doing and not be worrying about other things.
Okay.
And so for me, spending time with people, the sum of the people you spend the time with, you take their energy, you take their words, you take their mindset. It all affects how you show up every day.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge lesson for me because it was like, okay, now I need to be really careful about how I spend my energy and how I spend my time because I've seen this massive shift with something that just happened. And then that opened these doors for me. I was having my fashion label, I was running my fashion brand. And I had the opportunity to start a consultancy. And again, I shared that vision of, I can build this consultancy. And it was like, do you think you can do that? Actually, yeah, I do think I can do that. But this isn't helping that I'm being challenged before you even start because it's not on the, you need to be around people that are like, okay, cool, how are we doing it?
Yeah.
And so I started my consultancy. I signed a 6-figure contract in 18 months. And I went on to work with one of the biggest retailers in the region and work over 19 countries. And I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have belief in myself. And this whole transition of that time was like, if you want it, you can create it. You just have to start, you just have to take the first step. And a lot of the time we're waiting for other people to tell us what that first step is. In reality, we know what it is. We just have to have the courage to be able to do it.
Exactly.
And so I started that business. It exploded. It came out of nowhere. It was like, to be fair, it was like, do you think we should... I called my friend and I'm like, what do you think? Like, this company wants me to do this. And he was like, oh my God, go for it. Do it. And had I not had that conversation, I might not have done it because it was still in design, it was still in fashion, but it wasn't sexy. It was like for these big corporations.
That is sexy to me.
To go from luxury to this like mass market like product, I was a bit snobby about it, to be fair. And he was like, no, this could it could give you the funds you need to like do the things with your fashion brand. And I did it and I never looked back. I had my dream office. It was like all white. I had my team working for me. It was fantastic. Like there was one day I stood in my office and I looked around and I was like, this is it. I created the thing that I wanted. This is what I always wanted. Someone was doing a photo shoot in one corner. My team were doing editing on the other. I was at my computer, like dealing with clients. And I'm like, this is it. I built the thing. And my now husband said to me once when he came to my office, he was like, this never existed before. This all came out of your head.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. I made this happen because I saw it in my head. And it's the same thing now with the brands that I work with and the companies that I work with. It's having that thing, that someone there that's just going to say the right thing when you need to hear it, that bit of encouragement, that bit of, you can do it. You just need people in your corner to be able to do it for you,
Was it like that for you? There was someone who told you something, or you did take some course, or you did have some mentor, or what is that? Because I know that you have to have a courage.
Yeah.
Some people has this self-motivation, they do it themselves and they just go out of their comfort zone. But for many people, we all need some support.
Absolutely.
We need some supporting hand. These nice words that comes out of somebody else's mouth, that they believe in yourself.
100%. It's belief, but it's also strategy. So I went to learn from one of the guys from Dragon's Den, which is a bit like Shark Tank. It's like the British version, I don't know if you know it. And so I wanted to be mentored by him because I knew everything about fashion, but I knew nothing about business. And I was like, okay, so I was in England and my fashion label was okay. Like it was more like an expensive hobby, to be honest. And then I realized I need to know about strategy. I need to be able to put this in. I need to make money from this thing. Like I'm passionate about it, but how do I build strategy into this? And so I flew back every month for a year to be mentored by a guy from Dragon's Den.
From Dubai, you were already living in Dubai and you were flying to UK.
Yeah, every month for a year. And I got so much out of that because I learned the logistics of how to build a business, what it takes, like what you need to have in place. And I think I was naive in that I thought I could just start a fashion brand and people would buy it. Like I'll just start this thing. Yeah. And then I'll magically find clients. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. Yes. And so many startups do that. It's weird because there's this like weird contradiction between this optimism that you start a business and you've got all these clients, but then also this self-doubt that's like a seesaw of emotions. And in reality, you need a plan and you need to know what you're doing. And if you don't know how to run a business, you're going to run into some walls. And that's just the reality of it. And then you're either going to learn on your own and spend your time, or you're going to learn with a mentor and spend money. It's one of those two things. Yeah. There's nothing else. And so I spent my money and I went there and I was like, this is what I'm going to learn. And in 1 year, it was quite intense, obviously. Over 1 year, like I'd go there, we'd learn the things, and we'd spend the rest of the month doing the things. So it was 12 months of like quite intense work. And it changed my business. I got into Harvey Nichols. I started doing collaborations with like hotels, W Hotel. Like we did so many collaborations. I got flown to London on a private jet. Like it was incredible. Like it changed my life. And so from then I was like, okay, now I need to know. Now I know that I have to learn from someone ahead of me at all times, because all I need to do is listen to what they're telling me to do and I'll be able to do it. Because now the mindset, I've trained myself to be able to not, when I have those wobbles and when I have those doubts, I can reframe it really quickly and move into action. And so now I can do that. All I need to do is someone to tell me, look, this is what you need to do next, and I'll go and do it. And it's as simple as that. It's not overcomplicated. Just learn from someone that's already done it. It's really easy.
But many people don't see it easy. There are people who has growth mindset and fixed mindset. And if they have fixed mindset, they never move forward. They never want to learn from others, because when you're getting feedback and you're taking it as a criticism, it doesn't move you anywhere because you got stuck. So for you might be this, what you're saying, like a real thing. But for many women even that are listening to this and they are stuck at one place, they might see it as a complication to go somewhere, to ask a mentor, to tell them what to do and stuff, maybe even if they have money. Yeah. So I think
there's a lot of the stickiness is that you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
I love this, actually. I live in this quadrant for like many years now, and I love it.
People don't know what they don't know. Yeah. And it's like, until you speak to the people that have already done it ahead of you and you go, oh, okay, this is what you did. Oh, wow. So then you learn mindset through that, because, and that's why I always teach mindset and growth mindset and reframing, because you have to be able to do that as an entrepreneur. You cannot have a fixed mindset and build a business, an empire, build your...
It's not just working.
Yeah, it's not just work. Yeah, so... It's all about you and the entrepreneur and growing. So this has to be part of it. It's part and parcel. But I think that a lot of it is the exposure to knowing what you don't know. So if you're holding yourself back, like we work on how we self-sabotage. So like if you're holding yourself back because you're a perfectionist, for example, that's self-sabotage. And it's the awareness of that is number one. That's, okay, I didn't know I was doing that. Now I know I'm doing it. I can do something about it. So step one for me is always the awareness of what is holding you back and how do we unlock that? Because humans are fundamentally the same. So there's only like 10 things that could be holding anyone back, pretty much within reason. So we find out what it is, we unpick it, and we go again. And then that person's got their own little mixture of what they need to do to unpick some of their blocks to help them move forward. And then once they've done that, they can put strategy in place and get stuff done.
I love this because there are many programs out there, even business-oriented programs that don't teach mindset. And even in the schools, I don't think that they teach mindset. And this should be number one. This happened to me like 4 years back when I took like a huge training for a month. And I shift my mindset literally from nowhere to somewhere. And I couldn't believe myself how I could live in that world, not in the other world. So that was for me like eye-opening, and it's powerful. And it's like you have the power in your hands to create your life, and you don't give the power away at any point. So absolutely. I think, and I see it in your programs as well, and that's why I love it. Like even you focus on business women and helping them to create business, although I am doing the stuff actually that comes before the business, like when they are stuck at some point, when they are overwhelmed and exhausted, how not to get to the point and how to get out of it if they get there, and how to juggle all of this plates.
So it's hard.
This is very hard, and this is all connected. And like mindset is the huge part of everything.
There's a quote that I love, which is the world starts and ends in your mind. And it's so true, because you can think, I feel like you can think your way out of most things. It's just
all
up
the
to
time.
you. It's
all
up
the
to
time.
you. And what I love is now that I've developed this tool, it's okay, this has happened. And I look at things and I think, I don't know why that's happened yet, but it will eventually make itself clear.
As well, yeah.
And now I'm in this position, and what opportunities what is this going to bring? Things that don't happen, things that you think were this is going to happen. And then one of the things most recently is I went on Shark Tank, which is
You did go, like yourself?
I'm attracted to these TV programs, apparently. But
as a participant, or?
I went on the show, as a participant.
Oh, you went? Oh, wow. In the UK?
In Dubai.
In Dubai.
The Dubai version, And I went on and I presented my business, my coaching business, what I want to do, my plans, whatever. And I got the investment. I got the I got the money.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big thing.
And then but we went through the process with the lawyers and the due diligence and checking everything, and we got to the point of signing, and then I just was like, this is not for me.
Really?
And I turned it down right at the last minute. Like
you didn't like
it. Just one of my mottos is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And it just wasn't a hell yes for me. It just didn't feel aligned with what it is that I want to do with this. It was more like an investment, a financial investment, and not a partnership. And, and I just was like, I can get financial investment from a bank if I want it.
So you wanted involvement?
I want someone that sees the vision that I see. The vision's important to me. The women are important to me. And it's not about money. I went on the show for let's see what happens. I don't really need it, but let's go anyway. I love this opportunity. Like, why not? Let's open this door and see what happens. And anyway, so shortly after I turned it down, I panicked, and I was like, okay, what have I just done? Like, I just
Why did I do this?
$250,000 in my bank, and I could have done whatever. I'm like, you know what, it didn't fit. Like, I have to do things that are in alignment with me and where I want to go and what feels right. And I was just like, for whatever reason, I went through this whole process. The end will make itself clear. Within 48 hours, I had someone else offer me the money who was much more aligned, who came out of a conversation that I didn't even know was going to happen. And now I'm super excited about where we're going with it, with the right person. And this is how I work. If this is meant to happen, it will. And it did. And so a lot of manifesting, and I lean into that a lot because
I love it as well.
You have to stay open, staying open to, okay, this didn't work out exactly how I thought it was going to, but I'm going to stay open in this opportunity and see. I'm not going to close down and be like, oh my God, this happened to me. I'm going to stay open and be like, what are you trying to send to me? What are you trying to tell me? What is the opportunity here? And if you stay like that, you can't lose, because something will always come, and you'll always see the golden nuggets everywhere. But if we close down and we oh no, this didn't happen exactly how I wanted it to, then we'll never see the golden nuggets that are just sitting around waiting for us to pick up.
So you are the right frequency of your dreams, and then you can attract whatever you want. That's the deal.
Energy is so important.
It is. We are energy, right? Me and you. I saw the reel lately that they're trying to do the sounds of some megahertz on 540 whatever, and they trying to bring the less frequency on it, and the ball that was hitting didn't move.
Oh yes,
and when they brought it to I don't know how to explain it, but when they hit it with the right frequency, the ball just moved. And that's what you're saying, actually. And tell me, when you turned down the opportunity, was it your intuition? that was telling you something is not?
Yeah. It just wasn't a hell yes, so therefore it was a no. And I learned again over the last year, like, so I've spent plenty of time learning how to build businesses, plenty of time learning how to do strategy. And so this last year, and I've spent 20 years working on energy. It's something that, again, my mum instilled in us really young. You've got a problem, you go talk to someone about it. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist, a healer, a Reiki healer,
whoever who can help you.
Whatever you want to get your body in alignment with your mind, you do it. So for me, this is a massive investment, and I love it because it's given me 20 years of making sure that I know what's in alignment with me. Now I'm using that in my business, and I'm getting a result because I'm making decisions based on true alignment. And like, people call it manifestation, but it's alignment with your mind and your body and your soul. And it's like all these things, I'm in the right place, I'm in the right frequency, I'm speaking to the right people, the right things will happen. And yeah, so like I use that energy work all the time.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Like when you're saying it, I have just goosebumps.
Yeah, it's next level. Like it's like the secret sauce that, again, no one talks about. People talk about mindset, but no one talks about the energy you bring to your business. And it's absolutely massive. It's game changing. So and again, this is what I'm doing now with more courses that I'm building. It's building that in, and that's why I work with women, because women are so much more in tune with they're much more. Not to say that men aren't, but they're much more open to having the conversation about energy than men are. Like, even my husband's been listening to me bang on about it for the last 6 years. And he's a bit like, yeah, I'll just do ayahuasca instead. You know, like
they use too much logic, too much structure. They don't, if they open their minds, that's why women has this inner powers, because it's coming from our nature.
Absolutely.
And the men, they can access the feminine power if they want, but they don't want to.
I think
they don't do
also,
it.
Yeah.
And it's society, they are not to blame because nobody teach them this. Nobody tell them
100%.
you can cry. Nobody tell them open your intuition, use your intuition in the business. There is many men who just got burned or got, I don't know, lose money because they don't use their intuition. And this doesn't happen to women because maybe if you went to that opportunity, for that opportunity, something would happen and you wouldn't be happy about it.
I think
or
that's
maybe
what
not,
I think.
You know?
He's a great guy, and he's obviously a savvy businessman and all that stuff. But I just had to listen. Like, I did all the logical stuff. I got the lawyer. We discussed everything. Like, we went through the points on the contract, and it was like, okay, everything else is fine. How does it feel in my body? And it just was one of the things that I think, to answer your earlier question, was I've been working on this thing, and the thing that came out was, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no, is like my guiding mantra now, like with everything.
That's amazing.
And I want to do hell yes stuff. I don't want to do lukewarm.
I need to learn this hell yes.
It's a hell yes. Yeah.
I'm using my intuition a lot, but sometimes it's blind. When you really like
I think there's
something,
a bit of both. I think you have to use structure, strategy, like all those things. And then there's like the sprinkle on top is what feels right. Does this feel good in my body? And it's just about tuning into that. If you're already tuned into intuition and you know what feels good, then just add the logic stuff. Does it logically make sense? Is this a good business decision? What will happen in 5 years' time? Is this the right partnership? Will it get me where I want to go? And you just answer a bunch of, again, just answering like better questions, asking better questions is going to get us a better result. And then we team that with these like superpowers. We can't go wrong. It's beautiful. I love watching it unfold when people use it.
Women are powerful. I always saying it. That was my question, why you working with women, but you answered this question, because I also love to work with women. But I met coaches that says that women coaches that says they like to work with men more than with women. And they are like men who like to work with women more than men. So it's like your reality, you love it because of your conditioning, and somebody else maybe would have different.
I do have. I'm coaching a guy at the moment. I'm coaching an ex-footballer.
That's the next level, because you are coach for women, and if men comes to you, it's a compliment.
What's lovely about him is that he's a mindset coach for athletes. So he's an ex-pro footballer. He's a mindset coach for athletes. And so he's very much into energy, manifesting, like doing the things to get your body in alignment. So it's perfect for me, because it's like, cool, I found a guy that does this stuff. So when I talk to him about energy, okay, got it. It's not to say that men can't do it. It's just that I think women can access it easier because they're just more used to talking about it.
They are, They are more open maybe, and they can share things that a guy are shy to share. Something. And when you said you had struggles in your personal life, I understand that part. So in business, was it all smooth, the entrepreneurship, or was there something that you can share that might help others to get over something
Yeah.
that they are at.
Of course, yeah. There's always learning, right? So with fashion business, it was brutal in that its product base is monetary heavy, so financially heavy. So you've got to be able to have the money to put into it. A lot of startups who do products make a little bit of money, then have to feed it back in, but they want to pay themselves. So this kind of seesaw again of I have to make more products to make more money, but then I'm not going to live. And so there's this like horrible roundabout of things. And so that's the struggle. And you need to be able to be like, oh, this is the amount of sales I need to make this work. This is the visibility strategy. This is where, and having that again, like building all that on your own is quite hard. So having someone that's done it before you that can help you do that will be more beneficial than just trying to wade through the treacle on your own. Just too much to learn. Like people...
So asking often help. It's a big
absolutely. There's just too much to learn. And you can make... the other thing is like having the confidence to go for those bigger contracts and go for those things that are going to give you the cash flow to do the other thing. Then work on confidence, because that is going to open a door. Going into like Harvey Nichols and having 100 sales in a week opened a door for me that then I've got, first of all, I've got the prestige of being in Harvey Nichols. I've got the cash flow because now I can put it into making more products. So with my product-based business, this was the kind of like struggle of that cash flow. And you need to have the awareness of how you're going to build this thing because it costs money to do it. How do you get exposure? How do you get on the right people? So yeah, and then it's, am I good enough? Do I feel worthy? So that was a fashion label? Okay. Am I trendy enough? Like, where do I fit? Is my so there's like there's a whole world of stuff. But again, as long as you can get down to confidence and nail your mindset, you can achieve anything. So for me, in that business, it was very much about, you know, I rebranded that business. And when I did that, I got much better feedback. And I was able to build a strong, visually aesthetic brand that people understood. And that took me exactly where I needed to go. Being in Dubai was a great place because at that time, like 15 years ago, it was like, who's new? Let's do some stuff. And I got to be able to access things and places and people that I just wouldn't have been able to in England, for example. With my consultancy business, again, it was just having the authority to stand up and say, this is how much I'm going to charge if you want me to come and do this. Signing those big contracts changed my life. Like I signed this contract for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was like, in the first year of my business, when I signed it, I had no team. So I sold it and I had no one to help me do it. And I was like,
oh my God.
I need to find a team. But again, don't shrivel, be open and be like, okay, I need a team. Where they're going to come from. And
you get the contract and then
I'll worry about it later. You know? I'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
And now I know how much money's in this contract. I know how much I can. And they landed in my lap and they stayed with me for the next 7 years. The team that I
very
made,
nice,
they were brilliant, and I couldn't have asked for better people.
But you were brilliant to them. That's why they stay because you know.
And it was just like, solve each problem as it comes, but don't see things as problems. You just have to see it as growth. Okay, now I have the weight of this massive contract. Now I need a team. I need to be open, find the right people, and you want to attract them to you. Like I want people that are in it. People talk about manifesting like a husband. What type of husband do you want? What does he look like? What does he sound like? How does he treat you? Where do you go? Think about all these things, and it will be in your awareness, and then you'll be more susceptible to seeing that person. Do they have the qualities? It's the same thing with hiring a team. What do I want out of someone? And I really found like gems. I really did. I was super lucky.
Some people saying what they don't want. And they don't know.
But your focus is on the wrong thing.
Yeah, the focus, and that your system just turns that way, and you get what you don't want.
It's the same with money. I haven't got enough money. Oh my God, I've only got this to pay the bills. And again, it's just reframing everything, getting your mind into a place where I'm so grateful for the house that I live in. I'm so grateful that we wake up with health every day. I'm so grateful that I have money to pay the bill. So when I pay a bill, I'm like, thank you, buy money, thank you very much.
Gratitude.
Thank you so much that you're in my bank account so I can pay that bill. When I book flights, isn't it amazing that I have this money? So I'm grateful for the money that goes out of my account because it means it was in my account in the first place. So there's an attitude to have with everything, and it works. It really works to be able to reframe, and you're in a different vibration.
Many people talking about manifestation, but there are some people who doesn't even believe in it, who think it's a woo-hoo, who think that this is what is this. And we said most of the men are like this, but I know men who believes in manifestation, and you do. I'm
not in the business of convincing people. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to. That's okay, but as you want. No. But for me, I know that I think manifestation as a word has got a bad rep because it's too sit down. Who's got the time to write a gratitude journal? I don't. but it doesn't work for me. Maybe it does for people, and then they start seeing things they're more grateful about. Mine's in the minuscule. Like, I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for this conversation. I'm grateful for anybody that's listening that this resonates to, and then they go and do something different in their life and they get a result out of it. Amazing. For me, that's enough. It doesn't matter. It's all in the tiny. My gratitude is in the tiny moments. And so that changes my life because my outlook is different. When I have a conversation with someone, they feel that energy and their response is different.
Of course, I do feel it. You have everything that we've already talked on this podcast about. And this is amazing that you're sitting here, that you're successful, that you take your dream to the next level and you're still living your dream life. So what is there for you? What else is there for you?
Oh, I've got so much.
It doesn't have to be business-wise. Just in general, how your dream life looks like.
I'm gonna have I really want a villa that's next to the ocean. It's slightly raised up from the sea, but it's next to the sea.
Oh, come on, we're gonna be neighbors.
Right. Kind of white. It's semi-outdoors. It's all on one level. Wow. It's white with like kind of black monochrome, bit of rustic in there. And I'd love to do business retreats. I'd love to have it as my place that has potentially like little cabins where people can stay, and then we do retreats in that place. It might be in Greece. That's where I am right now. So maybe it's in Greece, maybe it's somewhere else. I don't know. But I'd love to be doing those retreats and helping people, going doing speaking events, working around the world and doing my own business retreats that are mixing all these elements. So like women that want to align, maybe that are stressed and overwhelmed, and they know that they can get more out of themselves by doing less.
No, of course,
like being more aligned and like being around people that are living and breathing this, and then also adding the strategy because women can lead really well as long as we've got a good plan in place.
And they are leading now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So
finally,
that's one of my goals. I still like to have a house in the snow somewhere, so I'm working on that one.
Switzerland, for example.
Somewhere that we can just go to the cabin. Like Christmas we went to Vienna. We went and stayed in something like that. So it was like the first step for me to be like, ooh, this is nice. It's up high. It didn't have a fire, we need a fireplace. Nice. It's all about setting in what it is that I want from this. And maybe it's not Vienna, but it was pretty close. I was like, this could work. So it's me about every step is just about finding and unfolding the next bit. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It is. And you're going to get it all.
I hope so. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up and tell us what's your one advice that you would give women right now if they're listening and they have their dream, but they're stuck.
What are they stuck with?
They're stuck with overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They have so many things to do. They're already living some dreams, but they have next and next.
If it's business related, I would always say get in the room with people that have done the thing that you want to do.
Okay.
Just do that. You don't have to do anything else. Just get in the room with people that have get inspired. Just make the one step to get inspired. Find your people, find your tribe, find the ones, like we had a coffee morning with all my ex-clients today, and I just came for the inspiration. Like, good. Yes.
That's perfect.
She just had a baby, and I just wanted to get back and get in the inspiration. That's why. Just get back in the vibe of the people that you want, and naturally you'll be on the boat with them. So I would say go and do workshops, go and do events, get online events, just get into the world of the people that you want to be in, and it will unfold.
And create with them. Right?
And create, it will unfold.
Perfect. Thank you very much
You're
for this
welcome.
Conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. If you have a problem in your business or you want to get the business to the next level, Deborah is here for you. Her self-made, amazing brand's going to help you with everything. And if you are overwhelmed, exhausted and stuck at one place, just come to Femisticated because you will get it all. To the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.